Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? This is Avijit here, and welcome to Devops Challenge Hub. So let's start with today's interview question. Let me share my screen. So today's interview question is, what is pre-stop hook and why it is important? So as usual, I will start with the concept. I will show you one demo, and at the end we'll have quiz. Okay, so you can stay till the end, and you can participate in the quiz. So let's start. So what is pre-stop hook in Kubernetes? This hook is a life cycle event that executes a command just before the container is terminated. That is, before the pod is shut down, this hook is executed. So in this hook, you can do some cleanup activity. Okay. So why it's important? Maybe imagine your app is handling some request from the user, and suddenly Kubernetes decides to terminate one pod. So if it kills instantly, some user request may get dropped midway, or you could face some errors. So to prevent this, you can use pre-stop hook to delay termination and allow some cleanup. And for example, e-commerce example, like user is browsing items, adding items to cart, then clicking on checkout. And Kubernetes decides to terminate a pod running this app. So right when user is checking out. So if it does the termination or if it kills immediately, then order won't be saved and a payment will be in limbo. User will see an error. So that will be a bad experience. So in the pre-stop hook, you can do some cleanup activity, right? Like close the DB connection gracefully, complete the checkout, if notify the load balancer that it's no longer accepting traffic, so this kind of things by readiness flow. So there are two parts. One is like a application is doing cleanup on its side. Other one is in the pre-stop hook you are cleaning up. Okay, that is outside the application, and you will have a this kind of addition in your like YML file lifestyle lifecycle hook pre-stop execute command. Maybe you can just deregister from your load balancer so that this pod is not receiving any traffic or something like that. You can do or do some cleanup. So this is the steps. You delete the pod, so pod goes into terminating state. So Kubernetes does not immediately kill the container. It begins a graceful shutdown process. Then pre-stop hook is triggered, and this pre-stop hook can it can be a shell command or HTTP call. Like here, I'm just giving example that's shutting down, but it can make some HTTP call to do some cleanup. So what kind of cleanup it can do? Deregister from a load balancer or service mesh. Like for example, the container stops receiving new traffic before it shuts down. So call minus exposed load balancer.local some deregister. Sending a shutdown message to external system so that external monitoring service audit logger they know that this guy is shutting down. Flushing logs or metrics. Some final logs, trace metrics needs to be sent before the container dies. So push that final Prometheus metrics log flush to the data log. So these are the last minute activity you can do some cleanup activity, right? Cleanup temp.sh. So all this script you can run in this pre-stop hook. So pre-stop hook, it is defined in the pod spec. This is the outside your application code. It managed by Kubernetes, not your app. Runs just before the container is terminated. So this is great for handling external cleanup like deregister from load balancer, notify external services, triggering shell scripts or HTTP calls, writing a log or status marker file. And after that, like in the application side also, Kubernetes will be sending SIGTEM and the application will handle that. It will do some cleanup activities. Okay, application will do cleanup activities, and then Kubernetes wait for termination grace period. And if that doesn't happen, then and by this time pre-stop hook also should finish, and your app should ideally exit on its own. If it doesn't happen, then Kubernetes again will send a signal if the grace period ends, and finally it will kill it if it doesn't if the cleanup doesn't happen in that limit at that time, whatever time is defined, grace period time. So it will immediately stop the container. Then a pod is removed from the cluster. The container is removed. So there the steps happens. So let's see one example. And here what I have done, like I have installed client on my laptop, pre-installed kind. It's a Mac machine. On Linux, you will have to use using Linux command. And then I have created a simple Python application. So what it does, it will be doing some cleanup. So it's running in a while loop, and then it is catching that signal, and it will handle this signal. And once it handles the signal, it is doing some cleanup. So I'm not doing anything. It's just a dummy thing here that got the unused items to database, simulated, closing database connection, etc., etc. So it's a dummy thing. It's just printing message, but actually it can do all this stuff here. That's it. This is a small block of Python code. And after that, we have another Docker file. So we'll create the image of this. So from Python 3.10 slim, we are like copying this app.py to current directory dot and then running this app. Okay. So this is the Docker file. And then finally, I have created a cluster. Can create cluster minus minus name PreStop Python. So this cluster is already I've created by that command, whatever I mentioned. And you can see that it's running. This is the PreStop Python cluster. And create cluster minus minus name PreStop Python. After that, I have executed docker build minus t, and then the whatever image name dot. So I have already created the image, and I didn't push it to Docker Hub, and I'm not going to push and do pull. So I have just locally loaded this this locally loaded this image into kind cluster. So kind load Docker. This also I've done. So it's, this image is already loaded. And let's go to the YML file, deployment YML file. Deployment YML file. So this is the kind deployment. App name is Python app, and this app I will be running. Deploy it. And here you see that image pull policy is never. So I'm not going to pull this image. It's already loaded, so I don't need to pull this again. Right? Otherwise, I will get error that it will try to pull, etc. I'm not going to. You can do that. You can push it to Docker Hub and you can pull it. But here I have already loaded. And then here I'm doing PreStop. PreStop, here I'm running some script that just echo PreStop hooks trigger. But here you can do all this activity, deregister from the load balancer and other activities like notify the external application. And before terminating whatever cleanup work you want to do, maybe you want to unmount some directory, etc. So that you can do that all these things in this you can in this PreStop. And let's deploy this now. Deploy this thing. So it's deployed and kubectl get pod. Okay, it's running. And then I will see the log kubectl log minus -8. So I will get a stream log stream. And here app will be doing cleaner when the termination signal goes. Here there is no log now. Now let's go here and do kubectl delete pod, keep control delete pod, and then a pod name. Keep control delete pod, and this is the pod name. Python app -60 something. Kubectl delete pod name, and let's go here. I think terminal signal gone now. What happened that PreStop hook is doing its job, maybe deregistering from the load balancer, etc. And in the meantime, application also has to do some cleanup work, like whatever is writing in the here. You can see that Python have started very okay. Got termination signal, saved unsaved item to database, closed DB connection, etc. So it did all these jobs and came out. Okay. So that's what, and Kubernetes waits 10 seconds due to PreStop hook before actually killing the pod and giving an app time to shut down gracefully. And let's go to today's quiz section. So what is the purpose of PreStop hook in Kubernetes? To run a command after container starts, to delay the start of a container, to run a command before the container is terminated. Right? So this is what it does, to run a command before a container is terminated. Because before a container terminates, you want to do some cleanup activity. Basically, you want to shut down. And which of the following lifecycle hooks does Kubernetes support for containers? So there are like you have seen that lifecycle hooks here, right? Lifecycle hooks. life cycle. Yeah. So these are the life cycle and the life cycle hooks are there for container. Life cycle hooks. Pre-stop is there. So pre-stop before the stop. So what else we have? We have post-start after the start. Post-start and pre-stop. So these are the two items. Both A and B. So B is the answer. So hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also like, comment, so that I know that you guys are liking it, and I will be able to create more videos when I have more motivation. And also, please go and follow my Devops Challenge Hub page, and you can participate in the quiz and also participate in the contest, and also follow my WhatsApp channel. Thank you for watching this video, and see you again in the next video.